4 hours ago, the best ones, and my mom just laughed. See? So we need people like you in this. Oceans. Sorry, everyone. I'm just gonna get the things for the microphone. I brought it this time. Hello, hello, hello. Good morning, everybody, and thank you for attending today's Sunday service, as well as the Shintoku Mini Academy for today. Sorry. Hopefully I have everything correct. I powered up my microphone, and so hopefully everything will go nice and smoothly today with today's service. But for today, we do have two. I was informed about two people who recently passed away. So when we do the mitama side and we do the newly departed soul prayer, I ask that you please keep these two individuals in mind, as well as if there's anyone else that you know of, please keep them in mind as well. So without any further ado, let's begin today's prayer service. Haide, 4 sincere claps. Prayer of Sincere Toritsugi, page 1. I am a Konkokyo believer. I believe in Ikigami Konko Daijin, Tenchi Kane no Kami. I've come today to practice my faith, appreciate and acknowledge the blessings, favors, and interventions of Tenchi Kane no Kami, honor the ancestors, and learn more about the faith of Konko Daijin. As I learn more about the heart of Tenchi Kane no Kami, I nurture the faith of my spiritual family. Thus, I boldly confess that my mind is alert, my heart is receptive, and it will never be the same as long as I practice the faith and receive Toritsugi. Yami Konko Daijin sama, Tenchi Kane no Kami sama. Thank you. Haide, 4 sincere claps. Shiro Haide, 4 sincere claps. Amatsu Norito, Prayer Book Supplement, page 2. 高間の原にかむずまります。かむろぎかむろみのみこともちて、すめみおやかむいざなぎのみことつくしんの九眼の立花のおどのあわぎはらにみそぎ払いたまうときにあれませる払いどのお神たちもろもろのまがごと罪けがれを払いたまい 清めたまえと申すことのよしおは待つ神国津神やおよろずの神たちともに雨の淵駒の耳振り立てて聞こしめせとかしこみも申す。Please open your prayer book to page 2 for the mediation prayer. Let us seek the sacred mediation of Ikigami Konko Daijin, sincerely and wholeheartedly, each and every day. May we receive the mediation anew with all our hearts and souls on this day, this very moment. Ikigami Konko Daijin sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin sama, Ikigami Konko Daijin sama. Ikigami Konko Daijin sama. Kami Prayer, page 3. Reverently we pray. The brilliance of heaven, the richness of earth. Time flows without cease, years pass without end. In heaven and earth is a life that nurtures all. In heaven and earth is a truth that orders all. For this wondrous form, for these wondrous works, let us praise Tenchi Kane no Kami. Let us praise the divine parent of the universe. Kami loves and cares for all humanity, all those who live between heaven and earth. To revere Kami as divine parent, to live in Kami's infinite blessings, this is the way. Yet many, not knowing the way, are lost in greed and selfishness. They suffer the cycle of misfortunes. Great is Kami's sorrow. Our founding father, Konko Daijin, suffered many trials in this world, but held fast to faith and sincerity. He received Kami's great blessing and began the life of mutual fulfillment of Kami and humanity. Humbly we pray. Divine Parent's great wish was thus fulfilled. Konko Daijin accepted the call to mediation that leads to the mutual benefit of Kami and humanity. By day, he taught the way of faith to all who sought him, expounding the blessings of heaven and earth. And he knew not the coming of night. By night, he prayed for those who grieved, seeking salvation for all who suffered. And he knew not the dawning of day. Though years passed and the world changed, he did not waver from his task, divine task of mediation. Thus was given sacred Tenchi Kakitsuke, the guiding principle for our daily life. Divine favor was thus renewed, and blessings flowed universally, establishing the way of eternal prosperity, the way of mediation of Ikigami Konko Daijin. By this wondrous revelation, we are given knowledge of the way. Through all the hardships of this world, through pain of body and soul, the way of mediation teaches us to turn our hearts to Kami. Without regard for day or night, whether we are near or far, the way of mediation teaches us to pray with total trust. For living unaware of divine favor, we offer our sincere apologies and pledge to mend our ways. Let us live our faith every day, seeking and rejoicing in your divine favor. Let us care for those in pain and invite them to the way. Let us guide those who are lost and awaken them to a life of purpose. Kami is fulfilled in us. We are fulfilled in Kami. May this way of mutual fulfillment be manifested in this world. May Kami's wish for true peace and the well-being of all people be fulfilled. So we humbly pray. So we earnestly pray. Prayer for Grace, page 3 of the oops, sorry, I have one too. Page 3 of the prayer book supplement. Kami-sama, give me grace for this day, not for a lifetime, nor next year, next month, next week, or tomorrow. Yes, give me grace just for this day. Direct my work and bless it. Advise me in the things I say and give them blessings too. Direct and bless everything that I think, do, and speak, so that for this one day I have the gift of grace that comes from your presence. Kami-sama, just this one day, let me live generously and kindly in a state of grace and goodness that makes me a little bit like you. Shinchu Kinen Silent Prayer. Recitation of the Divine Name. 生神金光大神様、生神金光大神様、生神金光大神様、生神金光大神様、生神金光大神様、生神金光大神様、生神金光大神様、生神金光大神様、生神金光大神様、生神金光大神様、生神金光大神様、生神金光大神様、生神金 光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様神金光大神様生き神金光大神様神金光大神様生き神金光大神様神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様神金光大神様生き神金光大神様生き神金光大神様Shintoku Sanji, page 29. 仰ぎ祭れば天高く。仰ぎ祭れば天高く。拝み祭れば地は厚し。神の恵みに生かさるるみの幸いぞありがたき我が生き神の恩取り次ぎとひもたくる時のなく天地の神の恩守り時近きの隔てなし感慈しみはよろずよにやまねく道で果てしなく感計らいは苦しくて人の思いぞを呼ばざる我ら今月今日やび祭りてひたすらに神の御影をたたえ祭らん神の比例を仰ぎ祭らん祈祷拝礼 4 sincere claps. 指導拝礼 4 sincere claps. Please open your prayer books to page 19 for prayer to the departed souls. Spirits of those who have gone before us, you were given the gift of life in this vast and endless universe. You discharge your duties faithfully, each according to your span of years. You will be remembered eternally, your lives retold from generation to generation, honored as the foundation of our society and the roots of our families. We revere you as the ancestral spirits of our homes, our own divine spirits. We beseech you, stand by us each and every one. Receive the favor of Kami and help us to fulfill our tasks as people without failing. Protect us, guide us, enrich us, that we may never lose the way of faith that we handed down to old generations, that we may live in peace and prosperity within our homes. Protect us, guide us, enrich us. 初代王先生廃止 Page 3 of the prayer. Page 1, 2, 3, 4 of the prayer supplement, prayer book supplement. Haware haogu mo shita wa shiki yu kawan no ushi haya. Haware haogu mo shita wa shiki yu kawan no ushi haya. Haware shinobu mo natsu kashiki umashi michi deru mi hashida ushi haya. Waka no ura wa no kiyoki fukaki mi kokoro mochite. Kami o iamai michi o totobi. Nani wa ien no hiroki toki mi omoi mochite. Yo wo wa ware mi hito wo sukuite. Michi no mi hikari o amma kagashi. Oshien no megumi o kunni kagashi. Hito no yo no mototsu michi o kiwame tsukushi. Kami to hito to hitotsu naru kotowari o まさやかに教えまつぶさに示したまいし、大き高きみさおをとうとみ祭りいやび祭らくを、めぐしときこし橋とみそなわして、道の行く手をわんまつひのいやとに守り、教えの子らが行く末を、へる月のいやひろに恵みたまえと、かしこみも申す。Please open your prayer books to page 36 for Sosen Sanji. よよのうやは、 我が悲縁の神、我が神と心尽くして、いつき祭らんな心尽くして、いつき祭らんな尊き御親の神たちよ、海の子のために家の柱を沈め立てたまい、初子のために世のなりわいを守り助けたまい、隔離世の見えぬ境にましませども、右尽くしみのみ心は映しよに変わらせたまわず先見たまのまさきく先は言えたまい、くしみたまのくしみに恵みたまいて、志は薪の柱の動きなくなりわいは結ぶつなめのゆるびなく真心清らんに励み努めしめたまい、ゆからやから和らぎやいて日にけんに浦安く楽しましめたまい、ついに移し世のことを終えて神の帝に参らん時には必ずしも迎え取りたまい、右尽くしみよ葬らしめたまわんものと神の実りの絶えなるをかしこみ、かたじけな耳親の恵みのおぼろげならぬを嬉しみ喜び申すことを見心も涼やかにひこしめしたまえと申す。花くしびのみ親の御霊、花くしびのみ親の御霊、花とうとのみ親の神、花とうとのみ親の神。Please open your prayer books to page 19 for the newly departed soul prayer. 石川和夫の御霊の神、Franklin Privet の御霊の神、申し上げます。どうぞ私の今月。Spirit of the newly departed, we love you now and forever. Fond memories of you fill our hearts. We shall miss your physical presence. Yet you will remain in our hearts forever. We pray for your eternal happiness. We sincerely pray with heart and soul. As a beloved child of Kami, you were given the gift of life and sought to live it fully each and every day. As you leave your physical form, please listen to our prayers. Whether in your physical or spiritual form, the universe is your eternal home. May you always be blessed with a peaceful heart. Know that you are always embraced by Kami's love. 一度拝礼 for sincere claps. Ichido haide 4 sincere claps. Tenchobo Haishi, page 5 of the prayer book supplement. Mada suki kakete inorana yo yon no oya, oya no mi oya no kami no chihai yo. Tamada suki kakete inorana yo yon no oya, oya no mi oya no kami no chihai yo. Chido haide 4 sincere claps. Chido haide 4 sincere claps. Please open your prayer books to page 6 for the recitation of the Tenchi Kane. Kigami Konko Daijin Tenchi Kane no Kami Ishin ni Negae. Kigami Konko Daijin Tenchi Kane no Kami Ishin ni Negae. Kage wa waga kokoro ni ari. Kage wa waga kokoro ni ari. Kongetsu konnichi de tanome. Kongetsu konnichi de tanome. Pray sincerely with all your heart. Be one with Kami. Kami's blessings begin within, hearts grateful and caring, in harmony and joy. Look to Kami always, now and forever. On this very day, pray. Oración de Tenchi Kane, page 6 of the prayer book supplement. A través de Kigami Kongo Daijin, Ora Tenchi Kane no Kami, con todo el corazón. A través de Kigami Kongo Daijin, Ora Tenchi Kane no Kami, con todo el corazón. La gracia divina depende del corazón de cada uno. La gracia divina depende del corazón de cada uno. Ore ahora en este momento. Ore ahora en este momento. Chido haide 4 sincere claps. Morning. Thank you so much for joining us. Today, I want to give my humblest condolences to Miss Linda Tanimoto on the passing of her father, Mr. Kazuo Ishikawa. Linda and her husband have been wonderful supporters of the San Diego church, and I really appreciate them. And they've just been they pray for our church, and they've just been such wonderful people. Not just when I go, especially when I go home, they're always so wonderful to me. So and their father was such a remarkable and talented person. And also to Mark as well, Mark Gilmore as well, because at the loss of his dear mentor, Franklin Privet, I just had to look him up. I looked him up a little bit just to kind of learn who he was, and just an amazing man. So I'm so grateful that we get to honor them here at both of them here at the San Diego Church. So my deepest condolences to both Mark and Linda, the passing of people so dear to them. Today is our Shintoku Academy mini lesson. So if you were not able to, hopefully the link works. I'm crossing my finger the link works. If you look in the YouTube, if you look at the YouTube description, pull all the way to the bottom, you should see something that says Shintoku Academy Notes. Click on that. Let me give you just a few minutes if you have to print it, because what I'd like for you to do is I'd like to ask that you please fill this form out as well, and turn this in. take a picture of it or scan it and turn in the front and the back section, because I would like to be able to offer this on your behalf to Kami-sama, because I think it's really important. At least you'll have a copy of it, and church will have a copy of it, so that we can offer it to Kami-sama as well. Because I think it's a very powerful. Hopefully today will be a powerful review lesson. As you know, Shintoku Academy was based off of questions that believers back home in Hawaii had asked. And that's what it was built off of. And so this topic of goyo is such an important topic, and I think it's one worth reviewing constantly. And interestingly enough, we talked about this topic 2 years ago. So I think once we were slowly getting out of the pandemic, this month as well. So I thought it was so interesting, but it's a little bit slightly updated, but hopefully we can all learn from this. So let me give you all a few more minutes to just download it if you have to download it, or print it out if you have to print it out. For those of us here at church, we have physical copies, so it's possible for us to do this as well. So I'm going to go over and prepare the computer so that we can begin soon. But again, I'm giving you just a little bit more time, because some of you still have to print out that worksheet. Oh, what did I draw? Okay. Oh, I think I lost it. Yep, I lost it. Sorry, Evan, I think I lost it. I have to just let me get it back. There we go. Sorry about that. I didn't mean to lose it. Uh-oh. Hold on 1 second. Then I want the view, reading view. There we go. Okay, I think we're good. Wait, let me put my face up there. Hi, I'm here. All right, so hopefully all of you can see the screen. I know there's a way to make this bigger. I'm really bad at this. There we go. That way you can all see that. So welcome to today's Shintoku Academy mini lesson. So today we're going to focus on the topic of goyo. Again, we're reviewing this topic because I think it's a really important topic to review. And so goyo by other terms, because it's used in many times in Japanese speech, but here in Konkokyo, we talk about it as service and appreciation to Kami, some kind of service that we give in appreciation to Kami-sama. So, so what is goyo? Let's talk about goyo from the perspective of ministers first, and then we'll go and not just ministers, because even as a minister, I also look at my goyo as a believer. So there's two perspectives that I get to view goyo as. I feel very fortunate. So first is, some people think from a human perspective when they look at a minister, it's your job. People get paid. Believe me, I don't get paid, but when you look at it from a perspective of a job, one, you get paid, so you're doing this for money. You can care or not care about a job, right? You can care or not care about a job. So there's two different perspectives to look at that. And I really abhor the fact that it's a job. So I don't view it as a job. I view it as something sacred, something very special. So I don't look at it as something as I'm getting paid. And it's something I truly care about. Some people truly care about their passion and everything like that. But I think goyo is very special from a minister's perspective. right? So from a minister's perspective, we receive osagari. If there's osagari to receive, there was a minister in Japan in his very first, when he first began spreading the faith, there was nobody, no, sorry, not Hawaii, not Japan, in Hawaii. And I remember the story of nobody came, and there was really no osagari to be had, and whatever was offered is what he received. But then, when people started coming and receiving okage, he began giving everything away. He would give the osagari away, offerings away, and I was so touched by that. And this is sort of my philosophy here at the San Diego Church. I make sure it goes out to the believers, because I want them to be blessed with this food. I want to be blessed with whatever offerings that were there. So we receive that osagari, but it's also a place of caring, place of passion, and it comes from our heart. And this is important because this also transfers over to um, believers as well. So, once someone said, "Oh, I have to pay you for your services," I'm like, I said, "No, I don't want anything," because that sounded so offensive to me. Because but then I had to rethink about that. Oh, this person is viewing this not as goyo, but because it's a secular person. They didn't realize it's goyo. It's a very special thing. It's a service and appreciation to kami-sama. So for me, I was offended at first, but then I thought to myself, that person doesn't know. They don't understand. So I have to remember that. So I can't take offense when people say that. I just have to, and I actually refused the payment because so quote unquote payment, because I was totally taken aback. It's not something that I had appreciated. But now in reflection, I would still refuse. I would still refuse it, but I would understand that that person comes from a secular background, not a spiritual or religious background, or from my background. And plus, they didn't understand what goyo was. Again, it being service and appreciation to kami-sama. So let's look at it from a perspective of believers. So these pictures that you're seeing here, I think that's Roger Kiyomura in there. So the pictures that you're seeing, you'll see some people cleaning the hiromai of the Honolulu church, and I'm going to talk about that in just a wee bit, why they're doing that, because they were part of a Shintoku Academy, which was actually 4 hours long. Today's not going to be 4 hours long. I promise. I promise. Ooh, people, I'm so sorry. I have to plug the thing in. I didn't notice how I totally forgot to plug my laptop in. Let me plug this in so I don't die out on you. Sorry. I don't want to die out on you all. Ooh, good thing I saw that power thing. So please look at those pictures of the Honolulu church and those people doing goyo there. So one of the things for me, there's three things that are important to me when it comes to doing goyo. Even when I come to church on Mondays, I insist on doing a little bit of goyo, some kind of cleaning or anything. And one of the things is has to be done with joy and fun. I think when we do things with joy and fun, with that kind of joy, this attitude, that adds that positivity. Now, if I could do the positivity workshop for all of you, you will see how powerful this is. That energy transfers into the hiromai. That energy becomes a part of this power spot, which is a hiromai. It also needs to be done with appreciation. It has to be done with if you have no sense of appreciation for the goyo that you're doing, then stop. Don't do it at all. Do not do it at all, because then it doesn't reach kami-sama. But we'll talk more about that. And this is a concept that I learned from the believers at the Honolulu church. And I would witness them every time they would go up to do otodoke, whether it's to clean the bathrooms, to do the finances, to clean the hiromai. They always said, "Gobure no nai yo ni." And I thought, why would you say that? I'm sure you wouldn't do it with gobure, but they always said gobure no nai yo ni, done without irreverence, but with sincerity. Done without irreverence, but with sincerity. And this was something I witnessed all the time when I was at Honolulu Church. This was something that before they did goyo, they sought toritsugi for goyo. They said what the kind of goyo they wanted to do, and then they would say gobure no nai yo ni. And it wasn't until after I went into the Shutokuden that I think I was more receptive and open to this. And we'll talk about that in just a wee bit. So let's talk about fun. So this man that you see here, this is the late Mr. Glenn Yabuki, someone very special to me. If I start crying, I'm very sorry. But he's someone very, very special to me. Someone who taught me about the joys of goyo, why goyo should be done with joy and fun. When I was little, because even though our family was registered with the Honolulu church, because we lived in Waipahu church was closest, so we always went there. I will be honest, I didn't look forward to Sunday school. I didn't look forward to Sunday service. I looked forward to Godaisai and Mitama Matsuri because then we got to do goyo. And Glenn made goyo so much fun. I always wanted to do goyo. I always wanted to help clean. Now, I don't like cleaning the windows now, but at that time, I loved cleaning the windows. We would clean the actual, so we had this tree at the Waipahu church, and they would the older adults would cut down the branches so we could have tamakushi. We had to wash the tamakushi, and he made washing the tamakushi fun. I saw the Fujinkai ladies, and they were making ohagi. I'm like, oh, I want to try ohagi, and he set it up where I could make ohagi. And I didn't realize how hot that rice was. So, but I had those ladies, like they made it so much fun to make ohagi. I just had such a joyous time doing goyo. And so when I do goyo, that is so important to me. If you're here when I do cleanups, if you're ever here when I do cleanups in preparation for a service, you can hear me singing. I'm constantly singing. And I take this from, and this is a little controversial because some ministers say, no, you shouldn't be doing this. You shouldn't be doing this. But I take this actually from Joyce Meyer, who's a Christian pastor. She says, when you sing a song that means so much to you, that has something relevant to you, you are just spitting out all of this energy, this beautiful energy that's coming out of you. And I believe that. I truly believe that. You can hear me singing here all the time when I'm doing goyo. And I know that energy is becoming a part of this hiromai. So, sing a song that when you're doing goyo, sing a song that fills your heart with joy. And the one thing that I also learned from Glenn was that if it's not fun or joyful, if you're not doing it with that kind of heart, don't do it. Not even worth your time. It's not worth your time. It's not worth coming all the time. Just don't stop, because then you're exuding negative energy. You're exuding that negative. Don't just stop it. Just go away. And I love the fact that he taught me not the negative, but he taught me the positive. And so I'm so glad I'm looking at his face, and there's a story behind this picture as well. And one day I'll share that story with all of you. But truly, when you're doing goyo, please do it with fun and joy, because that's the positivity that becomes part of this hiromai. Or wherever you're doing goyo, say you're doing goyo at KCNA for their conference or a camp or something, do it with joy. That way there's positivity that exudes from you, and that positivity becomes a part of that camp, becomes a part of that place. We all have that ability to share that positive energy. Truly. Kyoso-sama said, whether one gives life or kills oneself depends on one's heart. This is one of the most powerful teachings ever. And again, this really, and if you look at your paperwork, hopefully you'll see where it says, what is the teaching associated with this point? Hopefully you'll write that down, because it's a very powerful teaching. Truly, your heart, your mind is so powerful. Whether you give off negative energy or give off positive energy, you can save a person's life or you can kill another person. And so, Glenn, thank you so much for teaching me about the joys of goyo and trying to be as positive as I can, so that this room is filled with healing energy. So let's look at this concept of gobure no nai yoni. So I made that second because I have an activity for the appreciation portion, because I'm going to participate with all of you on the appreciation portion. So again, this is something without irreverence, right? And so what is a possible irreverence while we're doing goyo? It doesn't have to be cleaning, but it can be like say you're helping sensei with something, or you're helping to create the osonai, or you're helping to do like kensen or the offerings. When you're that's a whole we're so excited we're gonna have kensen this year too. So goyo has so many different facts, but without negative thinking, because that negative thinking becomes a part of the hiromai, becomes a part of that church. I have to check myself too. Sometimes I'm coming here from work, I'm like so frustrated, like, oh, this kid, and I have to check myself. And so one of the things I do to check myself is, when I hit National City, I start doing the Matsunorito, and then do the the Toritsugi Shoshi, and then I start doing the Shintoku Sanji to check myself. Like, Todd, stop the negative thinking, keep the negative thinking out, because when I do Goyo, I want to do it with a really grateful heart, right? Other things that can be like shortcuts. I think I've shared this with all of you before. When I went into the Shutokuden, which is this spiritual spot at headquarters, and you can do training there. Believers can do it too. Ministers can do it too. I was the first minister outside of Japan to do it. I was really grateful. And my friend, who's a Tenrikyo, very devout Tenrikyo person, joined me. And I've shared this story before. I think it's a funny story. And so he was separate. We were purposely separated. And he was in a group with a Sakamoto sensei, the late Reverend Yoriko Sakamoto. And I thought, oh, I guess that's a good thing. Then he was paired up with her. And so as I was doing my cleaning, because we have to clean while we're at the Shutokuden, I heard Sakamoto sensei go, Tenrikyo-san. I'm like, oh my God, she just said Tenrikyo-san. Oh, I better rush. That's why I kind of rushed to where they were. They were by the entrance of the Shutokuden, and they were cleaning the getabako, or where you put the getas. And I was just watching. I peeked out and watched it. She was saying, is that your favorite Tenrikyo? You go around the geta and you clean? No, you pick it up and you clean it. That is what's called jitsuiteine. You pick up and clean. And you didn't even clean the top portion or the side portion. Is that how you would honor Tenryo no Mikoto? And I thought, oh my God, he's going to hate Kokokyo. He's going to hate Kokokyo. Oh, I don't know what he's going to think. You have no clue how many times I heard Tenrikyo-san, Tenrikyo-san. I would rush over to where they were like, okay, what is he doing now? I was so afraid that he had a horrible experience at the Shutokuden. I was supposed to meet him back at Tenri headquarters because I was going to stay with him. And when I did, I had a meeting with the head of his grand church, or Daikyo Kaisho, the head minister. Oh no, I'm sorry, the Waka sensei of the Daikyo Kaisho. Someone from headquarters came. The person in charge of the Tsumesho, which is like the Hikaijo, like Tamamizu Hikaijo, was there. He was there, and another person was there. And they took me out, and they said, "Thank you for taking him to Konkokyo headquarters." And even my friend said, "Thank you for taking me there. It was very important. It was very life-changing." Like, no, I was apologizing. No, I know you had a horrible time. I know you had a horrible thing. No, he said, it was the most life-changing time. Because when he came back to Tenri headquarters, he was asked to do a report, and he said, how many of you here call yourselves Tenrikyo believers? And everybody raised their hand. He said, put your hands on. None of you are Tenrikyo believers. You are not. And he ripped into them. He talked about how they did Hinokishin, or our form of Goyo. He talked about all of these things and what Kongo, all the positives that we had done. Like, everything that he had talked about was what Sakamoto sensei had shared with him. And that taking shortcuts is a big thing. That he said, I've seen you clean the headquarters where their altar is. Yeah, I see you taking shortcuts. I don't see you going point to point to point. He was really strict with them. And the minister, the other people who were there also thanked me. I'm like, you don't have me to thank. You have Sakamoto sensei to thank. So this is where gobure no nai yoni, it needs to be done with sincerity. If you cannot do it with sincerity, if it cannot come from your heart, don't do it. For Kyoso-sama says, for those who practice faith, everything should be done with sincerity. So hopefully you notice what teaching is associated with this. for those who practice faith, everything should be done with. And I know it's not easy. I know it's not easy. My name is Ta Takahashi. I'll be the first to say it's not easy. But it's such an important part of this portion of doing Goyo. So appreciation. When we do Goyo, it is in appreciation to Kami-sama. Okay? It truly is. So here's what I want to do. Let me grab my phone. My phone just dropped in there. Let me grab my phone. I want, if you're looking at the worksheet, you look at the worksheet at this bottom portion here. It says activity 1. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I'm going to give you 2 minutes. I want you to think about all the things that you, not me, sorry, you are grateful for. And remember, I shared with you my story about just really reflecting on Kami-sama because of that trip to Japan. I want you to really think about it. Because as we head into our Godaisai season, I really want people to come with that sense of appreciation. So let's do this simple activity. Even though there's 20 to 25, if you can think of more, that's great. Keep going. But I want you to think about what it is that you are grateful for. Okay? So your time is going to begin. You all have a pen? Okay, ready? Let's begin. You have 14 more seconds. All right. So, sorry. I forgot to print that out. My bad. So let me share with you. I have a whole bunch of things. I'm going to share mine with you. And here's where I'm asking if you could take a picture of this or scan it and share with me so that I can offer it to the altar on your behalf. But I'm just going to share with what I have. I wrote my mom and my dad, Kami-sama, Mitama-sama, Mr. and Mrs. Spies, Oya Sensei, Yukawa Oya Sensei, Edna Sensei, you have no clue. She has been just amazing. Reverend Kyoji Konko, Godai Konko Sama, my Auntie Haruko, the San Diego Church, Reverend Norikazu Yukawa, Dr. and Mrs. Miyai, my landlord, Luis, Sweetwater Union High School District. Believe it or not, I have to say thank you to the $98 million scandal. I have to say thank you for that $98 million scandal that was part of my union, my district. Shoji Eriko, Reverend Roderick Hashimoto, the President Konko-sama. I'm so grateful to my apartment. Kimio-san. So Kimio-san is what I call the car that I'm allowed to drive. I call her, I always say, good morning, Kimio-san. Thank you, Kimio-san. So I put Kimio-san, my nephew, Baba, and there's more, but I wrote things in Japanese, so I think that's what killed my time. I could have done more. I promise you, I could have done more. But please keep writing. I want you to keep writing. And this is where, I'm so grateful for all of these things. And there's more. There's so much more. Me getting my full-time position back, me getting to be full-time teacher, me being allowed to do goyo at 2 different churches. All of these things I'm so grateful for. And so it makes doing goyo so much more gratifying, that I can show my gratitude to Kami-sama by doing something as simple as cleaning, or something as simple as preparing the offerings, or going shopping. Oh, that's my favorite goyo to do, going shopping for the offerings. I'm a little crazy about that, just believe me. So let me share with you something that Reverend Wakiko Igawa, my spiritual mentor, shared with me in relation. And I don't want you to write this down because it's super long. But let me share with you what she shared with me about gratitude. She says, you can say thank you, thank you, thank you all you want. But there comes a point when the words thank you loses its meaning. So do your best to show your appreciation in an action or in some form of physical representation. It does not have to be big or expensive. A little something goes a long way. And her children, Kaz and Miko, they are perfect examples of that. I remember when Wakiko Sensei was in the hospital for breast cancer, and I thought they were crazy. They had brought in for the nurses food. They brought thank you gifts, and I'm thinking, you're nuts. They get paid hundreds of thousands of dollars for this. Why are you giving them more thank yous? They don't need it. But I just saw that it was from their heart, that this is what they wanted to do. So the next time Wakiko Sensei went back to the hospital, they all remembered her. And I don't think they were expecting gifts or anything, but it was just something that comes from the heart. And, it makes, I never thought about that until, my own parents, as they get older, they have to go to the hospital or something. And I started doing that. And it's not because I wanted any special attention. I realized, oh, my mom is getting really special care. My mom would point out, that nurse, can you do something for her? Like, absolutely. She was so grateful to one particular nurse. I made a package for her. I brought I think it was like 3 dozen donuts and this is in Hawaii, by the way, 3 dozen donuts for the nurses and the nurse staff. I said, here, please eat this. Please enjoy it. I'm so grateful. And, I carry this even to my workplace. I do this. My staff, I don't think people appreciate the hardworking staff in the office enough. And I want them to know I ask the dumbest questions because I'm so new to that district. I never had an orientation, so I don't know a lot of things. So I ask the dumbest questions, and so I want them to know I'm so grateful for their patience. So I always make sure I bring them something when I come from Hawaii, or if I have the time to do so. I bring them something. I want them to know how grateful I am for just being patient with me. Just being patient with me. I'm just so grateful. I really believe Mr. Spees does this, but my mechanic, the fact that Mr. Spees, after his passing, led me to this mechanic in El Cajon, I just have to show my appreciation to him. Just everything that this guy has done, this mechanic has done. I'm so grateful. Every time I go to my mechanic, I just think of Mr. Spees constantly because Mr. Spees keeps picking up the bill, or he cuts the bill in half. I'm just so grateful. But my mechanic, just to be led to them. So I always make sure I show him appreciation. I have a new massage therapist who has been so amazing, just the best. And he's helped me with my sciatic and everything. And so I make sure, I share that appreciation with him. Just like Wakiko Sensei said, I pick him something because he takes me at night because that's the only time I have. And so I bring him dinner, and it's a very simple dinner. Sometimes it's just, I think it's called kimbap, that Korean sushi thing. Maybe it's just that. But I just want him to know I'm so grateful. Just something as simple as that to show just how grateful I am, because I know by the time he gets home, it's going to be 10, 11 o'clock. So I'm just so grateful. And when we do goyo, that's just something as simple as cleaning or preparing or working with the diocese or something to that effect. Those are ways that, as long as we show, this is our way of saying thank you to Kami-sama. I know that your heart and that positivity reaches Kami-sama. Reverend Kaneo Okubayashi of the former head minister of the Kongo Church of Kinjo once said, and he shared this with me, goyo must be done for the right reason, or don't do it. Doing goyo with the wrong heart is an irreverence to Kami and taints everything you have done with your heart. And this is powerful. What is the reason why you're doing goyo? If you're just doing goyo for the sake of doing goyo, he said, stop it. It's not worth it. And what's interesting is the moment he said this to me, and this was at his church, a believer had come right up and had done otoritsugi right there and said, Sensei, will you please allow me to do goyo, the goyo of cleaning the bathrooms? I would like to do the goyo of cleaning the bathrooms in appreciation for, and if I'm correct, she had received some kind of huge okage. She said, this is the least I can do. Please allow me to do this. And Sensei asked her, oh, which bathroom? She goes, the bottom floor, all of them. And he said, please do that. And he looked at me. I remember him looking at me. He said, it has to be done for the right reason. If not, don't do it at all. And I'm going to emphasize, what he said, doing goyo with the wrong heart is an irreverence to Kami and taints everything you have done with your heart. So powerful. And so I'm very cautious about that. I remember coming here one day and I really didn't have the desire to do goyo. I will be honest, I didn't have the desire to do goyo. I started doing it. I said, Kami-sama, I'm sorry, I can't. I'm very troubled at this moment. I'm so troubled at this moment. I cannot. I'm so sorry. And so instead of creating more negativity, instead of tainting what I have done with my heart, I stopped. I remember doing that. And I said, I apologize. All I could say was, I'm sorry, Kami. I just cannot do goyo today. And I think Kami-sama would have preferred me not to do it than to do it with the wrong heart. So it's got to be done with joy, that sense of appreciation, and that sense of not being irreverent. Reverend Kyoji Konko, for those of you who went to the Chicago conference, he talked about the 3 fountains of virtue. And in it, he says that one of the first fountain of virtue is at headquarters, and that at the headquarters Hiromai. And that headquarters Hiromai, the virtue of headquarters Hiromai extends to every single church Hiromai. And he said he came to this realization while he was doing goyo at headquarters. He realized that while he was cleaning the floor of the altars, he realized this epiphany happened, and he said, I'm not just cleaning the floor of headquarters. I'm cleaning the floor of each of the hiromai, of each of the church. And that shifted his heart. In the same respect. So if you remember those pictures of those people doing the goyo at Honolulu Church, who were at the Shintoku Academy, we talked about the 3 fountains of virtue. And as we were doing this goyo, they heard the lecture first, and then they did goyo. I remember it was Scott Kilowski who said, when I asked him, what did you just clean? And he said, we cleaned headquarters. We cleaned Kami-sama. And he got like chicken, like I'm getting chicken skin right now, or torihara, whatever you want to call it. I don't know what you people call it here on the continent, but we call it chicken skin. Goosebumps, that's what you call it. He got goosebumps, realizing while cleaning the Honolulu Church, he was also cleaning headquarters. He was cleaning the body of Kami-sama. And I'll never forget Dr. Yasuhara, Eddie Yasuhara, saying, because I think I was in her group, she says, oh, dang, I just realized something. I better clean the area in front of my altar because, oh, Lord, it's hard to get to. It's difficult to get. Oh, my gosh, this is not showing respect to Kami-sama. She had this epiphany herself. And it's one of the reasons why my hiromai and the Chula Vista Kosha, I keep that place as clean as possible. I try to not keep it as an okibasho. It gets cleaned as quickly as after service is finished. After a meal, I make sure I take off the meal and everything, because that is an extension of headquarters. As Kyoji Sensei is cleaning my hiromai at the Chula Vista Kosha, I'm cleaning headquarters. As I am cleaning the headquarters here, as I'm cleaning the San Diego church here, I'm also cleaning headquarters as well. So even at your own homes, remember, one of the fountains of virtue is your own home hiromai. Your own home hiromai. So please, 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 when you are doing goyo, I want you to see that connection. It's why you should be doing with joy, why you should be doing with appreciation, why you should be with a heart of gobure no nai you ni. So goyo, if you turn to the back, it can be asked or created. Maybe you have an idea for goyo that you want to do. In that sense, seek mediation, seek toritsugi about it, and ask Sensei to pray for you. Seek mediation, just like the believers at the Honolulu Church. They don't just do the goyo. We seek toritsugi first. During Godaisai, I would often, I hope you don't mind, my legs are getting numb. I'm going to sit just on top of the gaiden, the naiden. But, I would seek mediation, toritsugi, just before starting to clean for Godaisai, always. And sometimes Sensei would say, oh, Todd Sensei, can you focus on this area first? Or Todd Sensei, can you focus upstairs first? Perfect. That's perfectly fine. Sensei always knew I had music going. I would be singing because it was just so much joy. And the reason why I was so grateful, because if I had not done this training period, I had this training period where I was going to church every day, I would not have, my fate would not have changed. So many things would not have changed for me. And I was so grateful, truly grateful. And sometimes Sensei asks you to do goyo. Hey, could you please do this? Hey, could you please do that? You can say no to it. If you don't have the heart for it, you can say no to it. That's absolutely, there's nothing wrong with saying no. But if Sensei asks you, that's your choice. You have to make a choice. Are you able to do it with joy? Are you able to do it with appreciation? Are you able to do it gobure no nai? Ask yourselves those questions. Typically when the diocese asks for help, the proper tetsuzuki or the proper procedures, they'll ask the head minister, it's okay to ask your believer for help with this. And I kind of take Reverend Wakiko Igawa's, my spiritual mentors, philosophy, and say, sure, go ahead, do it. Because unbeknownst to me, when I was training at the Whittier Church, that's what happened. They sought mediation with Wakiko Sensei, and Wakiko Sensei, without me knowing, said, oh, sure, go ask him. And then they would ask me. So if Sensei asks you, the choice is yours. I would end up, when the diocese had asked me to do goyo while I was training at Whittier, I would seek mediation. And Wakiko Sensei, without saying anything, without revealing anything, would say, please do so. Please do the goyo. Please do goyo. Please do goyo. So, there's two ways to think about goyo as well. And when it comes from you, there's a believer at Honolulu Church, and I'm sorry I've used a lot of Honolulu Church examples, but that's where I'm from, and I'm still new here to San Diego. She wanted to clean the bathrooms. She saw how dirty the bathrooms were, and she said, please, I want to clean them once a week. She actually would come in, but before she did that, she sought toritsugi, and once a week, the bathrooms would be spick and span, both the men and women's bathroom on the first floor. When I would do goyo for Godaisai, she would say, she would ask Todd Sensei, can you please let me do the bottom ones, and you please do the top ones because the top ones are a little harder. Like, no problem. But goyo can be asked or it can be created. So let's do this simple 2-minute activity. So if you look at, there's a question here. If you turn to the back of your paper, there's a question here. I'm going to ask you the question, and I would like for you to respond. Take 2 minutes to think about it and respond to it. Think about it and respond. So the question here is, how do you want to show your appreciation to kami? So taking everything into consideration that we've been talking about goyo, how do you want to show your appreciation to kami-sama? Let's think about that and write your response. And I'm going to begin the timer right now. So please know, you can continue this afterwards, but please make sure, please allow me to receive a copy of this, so that I can offer it to the altar, to kami-sama for all of you. But I'm going to share with you, please know, whatever you write, I'm not going to share with other people. It's between you, me, and kami-sama. Let me share with you what I have. So in response to how I want to show my appreciation to kami-sama, to continue to goyo at San Diego Church, the Chula Vista Koshan with your Rose Hills, to do goyo with joy, clean with joy. I want to do like many videos, because I want to continue to share this faith, because I'm so grateful for this faith, because without it, I know I wouldn't be here. In all honesty, I know that for a fact. One thing that I was reflecting upon it. I actually started reflecting upon it this morning when I wrote this question. Um, I want to do Toritsugi first. Even though I pray to Kami-sama, I want to do Toritsugi first with Yukawa Sensei. I want, even if it's a simple email to Tamamizu Church, I want to send a simple email to Tamamizu Church saying, "Here." I want to be able to do that, because I realize that's kind of right now. I was thinking about this, and even sorry, I'm in the car and I know what the question is, so I've been thinking about them. I realize I need this is something I need to do personally, and to continually turn my heart to Kami-sama. I want to continue to deepen that relationship with Kami-sama. All right, let's look at question number 2. So there's a second question, people. Oh, that's not it. Hold on. There we go. So here's the second question. Okay, and again, 2 minutes. How will you show your appreciation to Kami-sama for the for in appreciation as we head towards it? Sorry, that question is really badly worded, but as we head towards the Tenchi Kane grand ceremony, how will you show your appreciation to Kami-sama? As we head in that direction, our grand ceremony is on May 12th. How will you show your appreciation to Kami-sama? Right? So please think about, and again, I had a head start because I've been thinking about these questions in the car. So here's it. I mean, we'll start your 2 minutes. Ready, begin. There's 30 seconds remaining. So please keep writing. Please keep thinking about this, and make sure I get a copy of this, so that I can offer it to the altar as well. I'm just gonna again, what you send in, I will not share with other people. It's just between you, me, and Kami-sama. But let me just share with what I have. I know personally for me, I wrote prepare ahead of time. So I've already made plans for the next 2 weeks on how to prepare. Um, that concept of how can I continue this? How can I reflect this? It's a struggle for me, but it's something important. Reflection, reflection, reflection. I think I shared with all of you, it's also in my email about that journey that I'm going through at the moment. And I want to continue that reflection because I don't want to be a part of a service where there is no appreciation. And I'm realizing so much. I want this to be such a joyous um, service, truly a joyous service. And as I reflect, and I keep reflecting and I keep reflecting, I find so much joy. So I want to continue that process. I want to be more mindful. I have to make sure that I make announcements. I want to make sure I appreciate other churches because this is Godaisai season. Today is the Lancaster Church's Godaisai, so I want to make sure that um, I'm mindful. I want to make sure I'm mindful and appreciative of at other churches. Our service, we have Seattle, Los Angeles, and Gardena all doing it on the same day, so I want to be mindful and appreciative of their services. Um, because we're all doing the same thing. We want to show our appreciation to Kami-sama. Um, I also want to reflect, not just for this Godaisai, but for the next Godaisai and the next Godaisai. I want to continue reflecting on what can I do better? What can I do to really show Kami-sama I'm grateful? What can I do? What can I do better? And what can I do to improve? These are things that, again, that process of reflection. And I think for me, I think for this year, reflection is going to be a huge aspect of my goyo and showing appreciation to Kami-sama. So I don't know why it keeps doing that. It's so weird. So here's where I'm going to ask you, hey, if you've got a question about goyo for today that we talked about, please feel free to ask me. DM me on Facebook or Instagram. Send me an email, sandiego.konkodaijin@gmail.com. That's the only one I really look at for anything to do with church. Or if you have Line, my line is Tenchi Kane no Kami. You can line me there. But if you have a question, send it to me. And what I'll do is I'll keep it. I won't say to anyone who sent it to me, but I want to make these mini videos to respond to your questions. I want to be able to respond to those questions. So please feel free to DM me with your question, your thoughts, and then I can respond to them with mini videos. So please, I would greatly appreciate that because it forces me to think. It makes me reflect. And even as a minister, even as a teacher, I have to. Reflection is so important. It's one of the most important parts of our faiths, for everyone's faith. So mahalo. That concludes Shintoku Academy for today. Just note, if you have time, please fill out the Google Forms. It's down there in I'm blanking out YouTube thing in the descriptions. I'm sorry. Unfortunately, something's wrong with the connection to Facebook. So unfortunately, I can't do it with Facebook. I'll try later on. Next Sunday is our May Memorial Ceremony. That's May 3rd. Very busy. The following Sunday is the San Diego Church's Grand Ceremony, which is the 12th. May 19th is the Whittier Church's monthly ceremony. And please note, just like I mentioned in the email, from May 23rd to the 27th, I will be out of state. Our grand ceremony speakers are Reverend Kenji Konko from Konkokyo headquarters in Okayama Prefecture and Reverend Joanne Tolosa. Oh, wrong picture. I better change that. I forgot to change the picture. That's Edna Sensei. That's not Joanne Sensei, but Joanne Sensei. Sorry, Joanne Sensei. I really apologize for that. Oh. So with that, please, all of you take care. Please stay safe. Ahui ho. And thank you for joining us today. I really am grateful for all of you being here today. And again, if you could please fill out the Google form so that I can write your name in the Gokinencho, that'd be really great. I really would appreciate that. But thank you. We look forward to seeing you next week and then for Godaisai. But until then, please take care. Please stay safe. Ahui ho. Bye. Say bye, Vivian.
Bye.